What's up, guys? So, you're a veteran and you're struggling with your schoolwork. Let's talk about it. What's up, warriors? It's your boy here, that wounded warrior guy that gets on here a few times a week, shares my experiences, and puts out information that I believe will help everybody be successful, stay healthy, and stay happy. And if that's something that you're looking forward to, or if you're enjoying this comment, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you do not miss out on any information that I put out in the future. And as you noticed with the beginning of the video, today we are talking specifically to soldiers and veterans about their education, something that has potentially caused a strain or a struggle on these individuals in these recent months because of COVID 19. COVID 19 has caused a lot of people to have to shift to online classes, taking courses fully at home in order to stay safe, in order to prevent them spreading the virus, which is understandable. Priority is to stay safe, to keep your family safe, to practice social distancing, to quarantine if you have to. But a lot of soldiers and a lot of other individuals out there, they have different styles of learning. And for the individuals who are primarily successful when learning in person or through hands-on experiences, they could potentially be struggling right now and finding it discouraging to move forward. I have had a few individuals reach out to me for some guidance and some pointers as to what I believe that they should do, how I believe that they should make changes in the way that they approach their education, and what that could potentially look like. So I thought I would make a video where we discuss these things and we potentially could reach out to some people, and maybe some of this information will come off as helpful. I don't know, but we will see where it goes. So, for those of you guys who don't know, soldiers, veterans, those of us out of the military, those of you who may still be in the military, once you have hit a 90-day mark in your uh, military contract, primarily for active duty military. It's different for reservists, so I won't get into that. But for active duty military service members, once they have fulfilled 90 days of service to the military, active duty, they are entitled to education benefits. And education benefits means if they have fulfilled all of their requirements, they could potentially be entitled to 100% payment of tuition for any program of their choosing for up to 36 months, right? Which turns out to be 4 years. So um, that could be public schools, that could be trade schools, that could go towards funding the training to build up a trade skill and get a certificate in something that they could use later on. And it could also be, just keep in mind that it can be for lower level education as well as higher level education. So if you start going to school and you start with your associate's degree, you do not have to use your benefit then. You're not required to use it. It's not like you can put it off and lose it later on. As long as you use it within a specific amount of time, which I don't know exactly how long it is, but they give you a while to use it. So, I don't think many people neglect it to the point to where it gets lost. But getting back to the point, you can go through your associate's degree, not access that benefit. Access the benefit when you start your bachelor's degree, and then it can carry into your graduate program for a master's degree, right? So it's not just one or the other. You can split it up however you want. You can start it, you can take a semester of it, pay for 2 years of college, and then start back. It's not like when you start it, it's over if you cut it off, right? So it's all based on time. And the way I like to think about it is it's kind of like a loaf of bread, right? So let's say that you're going to make a sandwich. A sandwich requires 2 slices of bread. Doesn't matter how much stuff you cram in between that sandwich, you're going to use 2 slices of bread. I could eat a sandwich with 1 slice of cheese, or I could eat a sandwich with everything in my refrigerator in between those 2 slices of bread, and I'm going to use 2 slices of bread per sandwich. Well, the GI Bill is just like that. So it's based on time. Every semester is time, right? It doesn't matter if one semester, while you're accessing your GI Bill, if you take one class, that takes one semester of time off of that 36 months. If you take 6 classes, that takes one semester of time off of that 36 months. So that's how I like to think about it. I like to think about the GI Bill like a loaf of bread. Every semester is the same amount of bread, no matter how many classes you take, right? So, getting back to the issue where some people are having a difficult time navigating their way through their classes and being successful in those classes because they're falling behind, uh, because they might not have that learning style where they can be given a book and given some instructions, and they're like, okay, week one, read these 3 chapters. All right, at the end of week one, you're going to take a quiz on those 3 chapters. Well, they read those 3 chapters, they take that quiz, they fail that quiz because they might not have the learning skill to absorb that information and transfer it to being successful whenever they are being tested on the material, right? So, those individuals that reached out to me, they said that they were considering completely stopping going to class. Once they complete the semester, they're going to stop, they're going to put a hold on their education until COVID-19 is completely over, which I don't know about you guys, but we have no idea when that's going to be. That could be 3 months, 6 months, could be 6 years. It could never go away. You know what I'm saying? So, what I told those individuals and what I'll tell you guys, and I hope that you spread this information if you know somebody that might be going through these same issues, is if you are going to reduce your workload or completely cut it off, first of all, I would say don't cut it off, right? Because once you stop going to class, you've completely stopped your momentum, right? So you don't want to get to the point to where you get completely discouraged from going to school and you stop going to school and you tell yourself, I'll pick it back up soon. I'll go back later. 3, 4, 5 years roll around, and now your lifestyle has completely changed, and you may no longer be in a situation to like uh, direct a lot of your time and a lot of your efforts into school anymore, right? So, as a way to prevent you from getting in that situation, I personally would not recommend completely cutting off the education until things change so that you might be able to go back to those in-person classes and everything goes back to normal, because we might not ever get that normal again, if that makes sense. What I would suggest, if you're still in the lower levels of your education, if you're still in your associate's degree, if you're still in your bachelor's degree, whatever, if you're going to a community college and your individual classes by themselves cost around that $1,000 per class, I would suggest, in my personal opinion, cut off your benefit, drop down to 1 or 2 classes, pay for those courses out of pocket. Obviously, if you can financially afford to do so. I'm not telling anybody to stretch their wallet to the point to where it's going to threaten your financial status. That's not the tip that I'm trying to put out there. But if you can financially afford to do so, cut off your benefit, pay out of pocket until you either gain more confidence in your ability to read those chapters, to follow that syllabus, and to be successful when you're tested on that material, or until colleges and universities create a more safe environment for people to come back and be in person and to learn in person. And your style of learning is better catered to in that environment. That way, you still have that benefit. You're not going to lose that benefit, even if you cut it off now. You can still access it later. It's not going to go anywhere, right? And as you are getting further along, those courses are going to cost more and more. So if you hold off on using your benefit now and you take less classes, you will get more value out of that benefit later because it will pay for more classes that cost significantly much more money. And you'll be able to potentially push it into a master's degree, because remember, it's not just for lower education. You can use it for higher education. If you have time left in your benefit, it can go towards a master's degree. There's nothing that says it can't. And when you get into a master's degree, you're talking about classes that cost like $4,000 and $5,000, as opposed to a class now that potentially costs $800 to $1,200. So just keep that in mind, and don't get discouraged. Like, these classes, they're supposed to be difficult, and it's okay if they are difficult. Just reduce the amount of classes you're taking. If you can financially afford to do so, pay for them out of pocket, save that benefit for later to increase the amount of value that you will get for it. And if you're still having problems, do not neglect your professor. Reach out to them, ask questions, tell them, hey, I was unclear on this part of the syllabus. I found difficulties with what you're asking for in this section. Can you give me some guidance? Can you direct me where I need to be, how I need to approach this so I can be successful throughout your class? Or I had a hard time on this test. What can I do to make sure I'm prepared for the next test? Keep them informed, keep asking questions, keep that dialogue going back and forth, because those professors, they're there for you, right? They will help you, and if they're not responding to your emails, then reach out to somebody in that department, and see what you can do to really get that information, or to get guidance to really help you be successful. But before I get off on that tangent, just want to put that out there, that that's my personal opinion. I believe that that's the best way to make changes now to ensure that, number one, you don't miss out on continuing to make the best of the situation and continuing to progress through your education, but you're not also going to lose value of your benefit. So if you're able to do so, like I said, pay for your classes and hold off on that benefit. You can always access it later. It's not going to go anywhere. You're still going to progress through your education, and that benefit is going to be able to pay for classes that are much more expensive later down the line. Let me know, guys, if this information was helpful. Leave a comment in the comment section. Is this something that you would like to see more of, these types of videos, that type of thing? Before I get off of here, guys, even if you don't realize it, even if you don't believe it, there's war in every single one of you. I see it. Take care.